Hey guys, how's it going? This video is more or less to answer a few questions that I got on my waste management video that, well, I feel needs a little more explanation. Now, this guy messaged, commented on one of my videos and um, wondered a few things. They wondered if waste management was hiring helpers from a temp agency. And although that is true, they waste management, or at least I've met a few guys, or at least a few helpers that were there through a temp agency, but they either didn't want to get hired through waste management or didn't really care. This was just another job and was just going to go through another week or just going to go through a week doing the temp agency stuff at waste management. They didn't intend on staying there, and I have met a few guys um, that came and went. There weren't very many temp guys that actually stayed with waste management. There was like maybe one or two that wanted to actually stay for whatever weird reason. They either liked getting paid $12 an hour, which is my current pay rate right now, or they wanted uh, they just wanted that job specifically because it was like right next door to where they lived, or something like that. I don't know, but I hope this answers that question. And the other question he asked was, "Do you by chance know how much help pay is started at?" Like I said, I personally don't know. Believe that it was around $12 an hour, which is my current pay rate right now. So if you really wanted to work through a temp agency, I would ask for options. Like if you don't have anything wrong with you, there are so many options you could potentially choose from, like working at a, chemical plant, like where I'm working at, or working basically minimal jobs that only requires you to really lift a few pounds and basically just be that helper. You either working on a line, or you go to waste management working over there, or some other waste industry company or waste company, trash company, whatever you want to call it. Um, Work over there. Personally, if you really want my opinion, don't go to waste management. You'll be wasting a lot of valuable time away from family, friends that you might want to hang out with, because they, they claim that you'll work at least 8 to 10 hours, but you'll really be working until they say, "Okay, you're good, go home." Um, and that's really the bottom line. I'm I personally remember. I mean, if you watch any of my waste management videos, you'll know that I've worked very late hours, even though we're supposed to be back by at least around 5 6 p.m. right before sunset. Typical. So we're supposed to be back at that specific time because they expect everybody to be done with their routes by then. They unfortunately neglect, or at least the plant that I worked at neglected, that the route that they gave me was super fucking long. The routes, at least the Tuesday and Thursday routes, were super fucking long. They were impossible to complete in one fucking day, and refused. They could flat out refused to change it. They went as far as to make my Thursday route longer. So, and I was barely getting back on time at around 4 or 5 p.m. right before the what do you call it, the dump closed. So like the dump portion of the plant or at least, yeah, of the plant closed. So couldn't really dump anything unless there was room, and you had to dump everything inside the fucking plant. If not, you would either just get let off at the right next to the gate, or you stay inside the truck until the driver decides to park to fill up fuel, and that'd be basically that. They fill up fuel, and then you can get out and then leave right then and there. You don't have to get permission to leave. You just make sure that you pretty much do need to make sure that the driver does not need you anymore, because a few times that I was working at Waste Management, I my helper had completely left me, and this was like in the middle of the day, route halfway finished. And the reason why, well, actually, no, not even halfway finished, it was partially finished, simply because the truck got filled up very, very quickly. We went to go dump, and my helper had left me. He pretty much left me. I said, all right, uh, you know, go do whatever. I'll be done in like 5-10 minutes. Literally took me 5 to 10 minutes to go dump, and I was waiting for him to come back, waiting, waited for around another 10 minutes for him to come back. He never came back because he went home. So make sure that you check with the driver that, hey, we done for the day, because you really never know. Are you done for the day? Did you work for like 2-3 hours? Do you consider that being done for the day? Working for not even 5 hours. uh, you will start your day at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. You will get there approximately um, 15 minutes early for a 5 minute meeting, or yeah, basically 5 minute morning meeting, like right before you uh, everybody kicks off and does whatever. You know that that's mandatory. You have to show up for that. You'll be considered late, and you are pretty much required to basically stay with the driver at all times unless he says, "Okay, break time." And break is typically 30 minutes long. You are required to take a break. Do not believe anything that the driver says about not being able to take a break, because you are required to take a break. And I made sure that every single one of my helpers took a 30-minute break, no matter what the call was, no matter what my manager said, because we are required to take a 30-minute break. If anybody says otherwise, all you have to do is just um, call waste management, um, call waste call the waste management, or someone. I can't remember who. um, they'll give you like all the fucking numbers that you have to call to make some complaint or whatever. You either complain to your manager, or complain to higher up or someone. I don't know who. If your manager says just suck it up, Buttercup, you shouldn't have to suck it up. It's your 30-minute break. Required. You are legally required by DOT to take a 30-minute break. You know, and if you are hired on through a temp agency, which I probably would recommend at this point, if you really wanted to get hired from the temp agency. That way you could tell them that, hey, waste management isn't giving me my 30-minute required break, and they'll leave it to that. Unfortunately, with waste management, you're not going to take very many breaks. Like, the only break that you will get is the trip between um, the dump and and your first trash can. Um, if you're full and you have to go back to dump, that's a good at least 10-15 minute break for you. You don't have to really do much of anything. You could literally do whatever. You're not required to do much of anything. The rest is on the driver. And between getting done with the last trash can of the day and going back to the dump or wherever you're you have to get off or whatever. So there is very little breaks. There could be a break between neighborhoods. It just really depends. You just have to you're basically playing everything by ear with your driver. You can't just say, "Hey, when are we taking a break?" Because the only break that the driver will be worried about is the 30-minute required break that you are legally required to take. Other than that, that's pretty much all that I know about waste management. I mean, if you're really that interested in wanting to um, get hired from waste management, just think about it this way: take a trash can, a filled up trash can, and try to lift it, and see if you want to do that. That's really all I can really tell you because number one, a trash can is pretty fucking heavy. Doesn't matter what's in it. It doesn't really matter. And then if you can do that, or if you can't do that, take the lid off and pull out the trash bags with your gloves while it's raining in the frigid cold. So there's a lot of things that you got to think about. Okay, if you're really that dedicated to want to work during the fucking winter time for a company like Waste Management, then be prepared to be miserable, cold, and wet. Especially if you live, in an area that rains every fucking week. Like if you live in the south, there might be some days where it's not that bad. It might actually be nice out. It was nice, a few days like jacket weather. Um, and then when it gets to the really really cold winter, you're really going to say, man, why did I want this job to begin with? A lot of temp guys typically go to waste management during the warm months, like from spring to fall, and then they go to somewhere else, like a factory, during the winter because it's warm there. It doesn't get cold, wet. You're not miserable at a factory, and that's really what I recommend. But hey, I mean, it's really up to you at this point if you really want to work at somewhere like waste management. I would check with the reviews. I would check the reviews of the place that you are wanting to get hired at. Check the reviews because there are people that work there that does not give a damn. If you're going to be one of those people that does not give a damn, go ahead, be my guest. Sign right up, apply, and get your $12 an hour. It doesn't really matter by me. But if you look at the reviews, you see that hey, there's a lot of negative reviews, and you really want to change that. Then be that someone that you want to fucking change that. You want to get a good customer, you know, and to do that, you really have to be um, good at what you're doing because with waste management, or at least with the waste industry, you have to be fast, or the driver's going to get very impatient. He's going to be very very mad at you, and he's going to want you off your truck. Basically, he's not going to want you off the truck. You better be fast. You better be pretty much at the next can by the time he stops. He's going to want you to get that trash into the truck in approximately 5 seconds. And at the fifth second, he wants to be moving, or she doesn't. I don't know who you'll be paired up with. Could be he, could be she. Um, but again, Um, at the end of the day, does it really matter? You're going to want to really pick up the pace when it comes to working at Waste Management. So that's something that I learned working at Waste Management, that it's not laid back. It definitely is not laid back. You better find yourself some good boots, some good steel toe boots. I believe mesh boots will work, but they need to be steel toed. They uh, will require you to buy some steel toe boots until they basically give you some free ones. And after that, that is pretty much it. If you want to be a driver, you have to have a Class B CDL. You'll be sent to Florida, like in my Florida video, and that's pretty much that. And like I said, it might have seemed that I had a pretty decent time, but the only good time that I had working at Waste Management was my vacation in Florida. And that's really going as far as saying that it was technically a vacation, even though it was technically training. Did I get trained? Yes, I did, but I more or less treated it as a training vacation getaway, more or less, since it was pretty nice to have some time off, some relaxing time over in Florida and whatnot. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. I really only know that I got paid $18 an hour, um, and I believe helpers get paid approximately 12 or $14 an hour. That's really all I know. But anyways, if anybody has any questions about waste management, I recommend just experience it for yourself. See how you like it. But other than that, I just don't recommend it. And that's all I have to say. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.